Ladies and gents, Six Figs here from YouTube. In today's video, we've got one hell of a lineup, everything from ICP ecosystem news, NFTs, and we've got a very special guest, the creator of Bitboy Operation Bahamas, Egido Val, joining us. We'll also check out the charts here as well. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. As you guys can see, Dfinity has thrown out a killer tweet. Baddest Roughest is the first ever fully on-chain music video. Join us to learn about the collaboration between Canistor and Trepo, Portal Dap, and why it's a big deal. I will link to this in the pinned comment or description. It's pretty cool. Let's move on to IC 1101 World, folks. I am extremely bullish on IC 1101. One of my good friends, Jordan Mack, dropped this stunner last night, and I'll have to admit, I was extremely jealous to see this. I would love to play the beta, but he goes on to say that he was able to try out IC 1101 closed beta this evening. It's still very early for this metaverse project, but there is a lot of potential here. Here's a shot of me running around in their giant future city with my pink elephant NFT skin. I mean, that's beautiful. That is super beautiful. We got a crazy tweet out of Yumi, and I think I may jump in on this. Really, I like this fractionalized art stuff. But Yumi goes on to say that they are now over 75% sold out on physical fractionalized Julian Opie painting on Yumi Marketplace. So I believe the price for this was about 35 ICP. I will link to this in the description and pinned comment as well. We've got a very special guest here. I am just going to go ahead and bring him in. I'd like to welcome Egido Val. Bear with me 1 second here, folks. Well, I bring in Egido. We are going to talk about Egido's latest ventures with Bitboy and this new exciting project that he has been doing. So welcome, Egido. I truly appreciate your time to be here to talk about NFTs, this great artwork, and this great cause that you're doing. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about it.
So first of all, a pleasure as always being in your podcast. I really appreciate all the videos you do. I mean, I think it's one of the best channels, not only on ICP, but it's an honest crypto channel. So I'm always up to a good talk with you. And yes, so first of all, I want to show my scam
Oh,
face t-shirt.
dude.
Maybe someone will recognize who is in there. I can't say his name, but it's similar to someone. And because people will think maybe this is a mock-up, but not. It's real, like everything we do. Even in the NFT space, it has real life repercussions, and that's what I was intending since the beginning.
Dude, that's a sick shirt. If you ever decide to sell those to the public, let me know. I will help boom that out because, man, those things would fly like hotcakes. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's sick.
yeah, I think so. People are already asking to me. Who knows? From now on, the only person who has it is me. But who knows?
So it's
Maybe
a one of
I
one.
yeah, no, it's something I always like to do is that even in this consumerist world where everything is mass produced, if you can do something which is like common, like a t-shirt, but it's only one, it makes it more valuable and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about Bitboy Operation Bahamas Forever. I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen with you. And can you tell me a little bit about like what really inspired you to create this artwork, which is just like fantastic. I absolutely love it. I hold over 30 of these NFTs myself, so I like the utility behind it. I love the artwork. It's very creative.
Yeah, of course. So the reasoning behind the collection, it's actually funny because if you heard about my previous collections, I see Bugs and Whack Me was about all these people living in this crypto reality, and there were so many signs around there that when I began hearing about all this FTX thing and all these protests and all that, it kind of clicked my mind like, why is there no NFT which is visually focused on the protest aspect of it, so
Hmm.
the idea was to create like a protest, like how would you visually represent a protest in a way which is appealing to the eye, something with enough variety so everyone can find their favorite piece, and with different messages, but all that let people decide what they want to say, but also create all these crazy combinations so it isn't constrained by reality, but at the same time has like a real life utility. So the template will be these three different traits, which are background, which is the part of the back, pole, which is the middle, who will represent like what holds the sign together. The thing with that is if you think about protests, normally there's not so much variety about what do people use. It's mostly cardboards and handwritten signs. So I wanted to go further and use different things. Like for example, this piece you just open, it has a baseball bat behind, and you can see there's a justice engraved there, because I like
Nice.
this idea of NFT generation where the way in which you mix the different traits change the message. I think
Hmm.
that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And it's kind of like you're using artwork as your form of justice, good old
Yeah, of
non-physical
course.
violence, of course, right?
Yeah, no,
So
I
that's
think,
sick.
I think people are missing the art possibilities of making a protest in a way that a protest doesn't need to be all about violence
Hmm.
or things like that. You can't give your message in a way that is much more powerful just by using art, and that's
Right.
what I intended with this collection. Of course, I took inspiration from the FTX debacle and use
Mhm.
all these different backgrounds and signs inspired by the Bahamas. But you will find many other traits which are inspired by other things or even previous collections.
That's
You
cool.
can see there is a whole world of combinations and possibilities, and that's something I really pride myself when I'm working. That's a bit boy. Yeah, of course. I mean, he was the face of the FTX thing, and I
Hmm.
I told him, why not? Why can't we do something like this?
That's cool. And let me ask you this. What was it like working with Bitboy? What was his personality like? Was he open to your ideas right away, or how did
Yeah,
that whole relationship get built?
yeah. So it kind of happened organically in the way that like everything I do is it isn't like planned in a cold way,
Hmm.
like, oh, let's make this so I can send a message. No, it was more of I made this NFT for him when
Hmm.
I launched Wacme Customs, because I was hearing like all these messages around FTX and more things, and I thought, why not making him part of the universe? And
Yeah.
he really liked it, and he claimed the NFT and he posted.
Mhm.
and I thought, whoa, that's cool. And it the way in which all this came together was after seeing all these messages about FTX. I thought I honestly felt furious in a way because I'm also a victim of the FTX thing because
Mhm.
I'm an ICP holder,
Mm.
and since I began working in my collection, all those wrongdoings have really affected my life. So uh, I I thought, why can't we do something positive, but also that makes sense? It's like it's hard, but cool in the same way. How can you combine art
Mhm.
with real times, but made in a way that this could be cool and seen as meaningful, not only now but in the future? That's where the concept of non-fungible protest token came about, because I was like, oh man, maybe we are into onto something,
Mhm.
maybe NFTs could be used in the future as a medium of protest, because there are people who can move out of their country for whatever reasons, or something like that, and they would like to give out the message and support some groups
Mhm.
about anything. So that's how the idea came about.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And one thing that I kind of like about this project is that it does reflect a real life event that happened. And in a way, this is just my opinion, but these NFTs will kind of be like an artifact almost as time progresses and we see we look back, people will say, wow, this whole FTX thing happened. This is some art that came out of it. Really, there's nothing else like it, which is it's very, very cool to me. I like what you guys came up with here. uh
Yeah, it's kind of a time capsule thing where you
mhm,
encapsulate like these times into the
mhm,
blockchain in a meaningful way. It's like you take something that happened, and a reaction, and instead of leaving it fade away, you create something meaningful, and you store it in the blockchain. So
mhm,
even 50 years from now, people will be able to see this and see, and it will be like this was the reaction to what happened. And I
mhm.
think that's very cool. It's like you imagine conceptually being able to participate in a protest from 50 years ago.
Yeah.
It's something very cool that haven't happened before, because yes, you can actually buy a t-shirt from a protest, but normally with protests, people use cardboards and things like that get thrown away. So in
Mhm,
this case it's different. And I also tell people that when I was designing this, I like the idea of people being able to print these NFTs, and simply cut them around, and you could even hold one of these NFTs as a protest sign. So
mhm.
it kind of everything mixes up, but in a cool way.
Yeah, yeah, very well said. I like how you put the touches of a time capsule on this art and being able to participate in, let's just fast forward 15 years from now, being able to buy this NFT, being able to print it out and hold it at a future protest, being able
Yeah,
to relate it back to one of the most uh biggest events in crypto history.
exactly.
It's man, it's never been done like this before. So
No,
I'm super
yeah,
bullish on it, man. That's just
yeah, yeah. It's something I think. I'm the first one who admits that should come more about talking about all these things, but
mhm,
there is so much work behind all these collections that sometimes for the artist it's kind of obvious.
mhm,
So it's always good to have people like you who are willing to talk about what's behind. And I think it's great because sometimes, as an artist, you can explain your work, but people like you take the best from us. It's a pleasure, and it's always cool because when you were talking, uh, you made me realize that uh, sometimes the wording is also very important. So I'm appreciative.
Yeah, vice versa. Yeah, thank you for the kind words. And yeah, I mean, I think that if people want to participate in this, what I will go ahead and do is I will drop a link to the description and the pinned comment. You guys can head on over, pick up some of these Operation Bahamas Forever NFTs, support the history, support the cause of using this art to really help benefit victims of this terrible tragedy known as FTX. Really quick, since I've got you here, Egido,
Yep.
I gotta pick your brain uh on WAGME here.
Yeah.
Is is there any other plans for WAGME, or what you know what do you see in the future for WAGME?
So if you take a deep look into the collections, all of them are connected. If you check, there are certain traits which are in IC bags too. And if you see the signs, it's kind of making the meme become a reality.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see all these different NFTs,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see the next collection, and I see bags, and you see how all them together. For example, you can see the Hopium drinks there,
Yeah.
and there are pieces on Operation Bahamas that use the opium irony in the signs too, because it makes sense. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you see.
I've
So
seen that. Yeah.
I think the beauty of WACME is that, and also our other collection, is that it isn't centered only about one blockchain. It's
Mm-hmm.
about different blockchains, and welcoming people, because I think art has no limits. So why will I limit myself to only one blockchain? I mean, it has to live in one blockchain, but at the same time, conceptually, there are many things which connect with all these other chains. So there are plans coming relating to merchandise, because I really think there are many trades that portrayed in a different medium, that could be like t-shirt, for example. People will get really behind that, and I'm of
Mm-hmm.
course about building the community, and people finding, because there are always people sending me DMs finding about trades that they didn't even realize. For example, in this in the first NFT, WACME NFT, you have there with the hodl and FOMO. Yeah, the floor in there, it is the code of the World Wide Web, of the first World Wide web page. And there are
Oh.
many things like that people don't know. But I like this concept of people having a first look and liking their piece, and then spending their time and wondering what's there, what's behind. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's very cool because many things from this collection are becoming a reality. It's actually absurd,
Yeah.
but it's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I definitely agree with that. And realistically, when I look at the WAGME collection and the last year that's transpired in the crypto markets, I think deep down, anyone that's held through this period of time all probably feels like, hey, I'm living in a tent, holding up a sign saying that we're gonna make it, we're bullish. I totally get that, dude, and I feel
Yeah,
the same way.
yeah, it's like whenever. it's funny because it's something that even the people who can consider that they have made it, that they are millionaires or something, I think deep down they are they get familiar and get behind those characters. There was a reason why they are so different, because not everyone is the same, and maybe someone is more of a biker type and then
Mhm.
he likes more the biker type, or maybe there are many female characters. I'm not aware that there are so many collections with all that female characters, and I
Yeah.
wanted to portray that because I really think NFTs are going to expand, and in the future, people will really uh, understand more art, and of course, hype projects are going to exist always, but there is going to be a wave of people who really are into art, and they will begin to find things and say, I can't believe that this is kind of an unknown projects outside ICP. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what I wanted to do. Something that people outside ICP can see and can get behind, because I can see happening anything related with this collection. I mean, you could turn it easily into an animated series or something like that. That's
Mhm.
something I would love to do. Imagine something like a South Park type, but for crypto, with crypto characters. That will be super funny, because I think that's the generation who really got South Park. They are kind of left behind in the sense that there are no many series that you can enjoy the same way. So now imagine something like that with this crypto reality. It will be so funny.
Yeah.
So there are always endless possibilities with that.
Dude, it really is endless, as what you could do with this stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I love your art, and I love having you on. I do appreciate your time for today. We're gonna have to move on here to some of the markets and charts, but I want to wish you well. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Oh yeah, I would like to add that as always a pleasure to be in your show, and I would like to do a giveaway with your viewers of one Operation Bahamas. I want to make clear that it's from my own. I bought it because you know how people are, and
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to give away one nice piece because I think it's a collection that people will really get for now, but maybe even way more in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll go ahead and I will match Egido, and I'll give
Oh,
away one of mine as well. And so we'll do a little collab here. So everyone watching this video, look for that on Twitter. And speaking of Twitter, you guys can find Egido at Egido Val. I'm gonna just pull this
yeah,
up here.
it's Egido Val, and also Whack Me Dystopian, which is where we post all the info related to our collections, Operation Bahamas, and also, as you can see, I added the links to Operation Bahamas there too, so
Awesome.
it's great.
Yep, and we will link this in the description and pin comment as
That's
well.
awesome.
So once again,
Yeah.
Aguido, I truly appreciate you swinging by, and yeah, I hope you have a wonderful night wherever you're at in the world, and we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, same, my friend. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thanks
vice
for
versa.
having me.
Yep, thank you for having, or
Okay.
thanks for stopping
Bye.
by.
Bye.
So everyone, that was Egido Val, and we are gonna switch over to the TA. Big shout out to him for stopping by this stream, folks. You guys notice that everything's kind of configured differently. It's because we are on Zoom today, but the markets, folks, the markets are looking absolutely devastated. But I have been noticing ICP is holding its ground quite nicely, folks. And it is currently in rank number 35 of the total crypto coin projects, whatever you want to call it. This is sick. In yesterday's TA, I was kind of talking about how I thought we might kind of wiggle our way up to about $4. Really at a really high level here. Let's just go ahead and look at what happened here. In yesterday's TA, kind of leading up to this nice little pump, I was thinking that we would see price come down and retest this upper trend line here. This was a rising wedge that I felt was happening, and I was a little bit bearish to think that we might fall down to this $3.50 level. But we are seeing a bearish pattern really kind of break down here. So that is interesting. And I just want to go out and say that, and I'm not trying to be a bear here or anything like that, but we kind of have had price shift a little bit. You could almost construe this as a rising wedge or a larger rising wedge that has happened. I mean, you could also say maybe there's no rising wedge here at all. Maybe there is some sort of channel that is developing, but we're looking at the 4-hour chart. Really, we had some bizarre sideways trading and a nice little pump here. So I do think that there is a good chance that we could have seen what's known as Elliott wave theory. So bear with me 1 second while I pull this up. But I do think that there was some incidence of Elliott wave theory here. And I do think that right now, pressing up on this 200 moving average, the price action is just a little bit too far away from this Ichimoku cloud. We are kind of seeing this red conversion line start to go horizontal towards this blue baseline. So I do think that sessions, this session may come back down a little bit. And again, I'm not trying to be some bear here. I just tell it exactly as how I see it. And I do think that we might see some sort of ABC correction to this, to this degree. If we see an ABC correction, it might look like this. So realistically, right now, if we do see a correction, price points I'm going to be looking for are this $3.85, $3.81 level. And we might just see price kind of come right into the shoulder of this cloud and work its way up on another leg up. But that is just kind of my prediction as to what is going on right now, folks. That is it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed Egido Val. Be sure to check out his NFT project that he has partnered with Bitboy on. Both of them have worked they've worked so hard to promote this, to help help the victims of FTX. They could use all the support that they could get. Big shout out to them. We'll see you guys all on the next video.